guys, welcome to this week's episode of Tough Love and Tecates. This week we have some incredible guests. If you guys would like to introduce yourselves.
Of course, we're so excited to be here. My name is Paulina Espinosa and I'm 27 years old. I am a proud mom of a 7-year-old named Sofia, and I'm also an entrepreneur in the financial industry. And before this chapter of my life, I used to be a hairdresser. And I used to love making people feel confident from the outside, right? But now I get to make them build that confidence inside out through financial literacy. What drew me to this industry was the time freedom that it gives me as a mom. And most importantly, the purpose of helping people take control of their money, learning how money really works, and take control of their future. So that's where I'm at right now.
Thanks for being here.
And my name is Irvana Sandoval. Thank you for the invitation. I've been doing this for 15 years, and I really enjoy and love what I do. I used to work as Paulina, maybe in a different industry. I used to work at the university. I love to work with the students, but it got to the point that also I was growing my family. I'm a mother of 3, and I needed more flexibility. And I was stuck in my position, usually in those type of positions with the government, for the ones that they work with the government. To move up, sometimes the person needs to retire or die.
and then that's what you're waiting for.
Yeah, and since I was a little girl all the time, I had this feeling that I wanted make something bigger, have my own business, and it's been a great journey. Being able to help individuals, a passion that I have, and it's very fulfilling. So
nice. Thanks for coming.
Have you guys?
Thank you for having us. We're excited.
So tell us a little bit more about WealthWave and what you guys do.
Of course. So we're basically here to solve the number one economic crisis happening right now worldwide that affects over 5 billion people, which is financial literacy. So we have built a solution with either books, ebooks, videos, classes, one-on-one training, where we sit down and talk to individuals so that they can learn how money really works. And this can go all the way from talking to individuals, to businesses, to schools even. We are really strong advocates of just having that education approach in an industry that it's been led by selling.
Well, I mean, we connected because I was walking in the office, and I've always, my next goal in my career is to push financial literacy to high school kids, because I know that there is a void there. There's an underserved community that they're not given the tools and resources that they need. And so that's where we kind of linked up, because I saw all their stuff. They have like the coolest stuff, literally financial literacy, that it was like a magnet, that I said, okay, I need to connect. I need to see what tools they have, what resources they have, because I don't like to recreate the wheel if I don't have to. So I'm excited for us to be a part of this and see where we can take all the tools and resources that you guys provide and share them with the community.
Yes.
And I've heard you refer to the rule of 72. Can you please tell us what is the rule of 72 and why is it important?
I love this concept. Let me just tell you, I have a background. My background, I graduated in business administration. I have a degree and I have a master's, concentration in finance.
Oh, wow.
But this concept, I never learned it in school. So that's why it's one of my favorites. And basically what it is a mathematical shortcut just to know how long it will take for your money to double. For instance, you just take the number, 72, and then if you divide it by the interest rate, let's say your checking account, let's say that is giving you a 1%. 72 divided by 1, 72 years, right? So that means that if you have money in a savings account or checking account that is giving you a 1%, every 72 years, your money is going to be down.
Yeah.
But what about if we have a higher interest rate? If we have a 6%, now 6%, every 12 years, your money will be doubled. So much better, right?
Yeah.
What about 12% every 6 years? And sometimes we underestimate the interest rate. We say, oh, but it's only 1% or 2%, but we don't see it like in the long run.
Yeah.
What is the difference? We want for our money to be doubling more often.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. We don't understand this concept. So if you don't make it, it's going to go against you. In which form? In a credit card. Credit card works in the same way. Just bring to your mind your credit card. What is the interest rate that we have? What is what is the interest that you have
Most of them
seen?
are at least 28% on a good day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's today.
If
That's
you're
the
lucky.
lowest.
Yeah. So it divides 72 divided by 29%, 30%. So that's when we hear people that it's very impossible or very difficult to get rid of
Credit card debt. Yeah, because the
Okay.
interest is just compounding,
It's doubling too fast.
doubling. Yeah,
Yeah.
at a rate that nobody can even make the payments, even if you make your minimum payments. And so at that point in time, what do you suggest for people that, if they're going, if they're trying to battle what it is, the situation that they're already in with credit card debt, like what are some of the strategies that you would say would be a good source for them?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And just to tell you, like, it depends on every situation. Yeah,
Mhm.
because sometimes we will be able to say, what about if you maybe a consolidation? But sometimes we have cases that you're not going to be able to consolidate because you have too much debt. Your credit score is not good, so we have to take a different route to do it. Or sometimes you don't have that much debt that we can manage it in a different way. So it's gonna go case by case.
Yeah, every person's situation is going to
Exactly.
be different. So that's where, it's
That's where we
important
come
to
in.
Sit
Mhm.
down
go
with
in
someone.
one by
One-on-one.
one-on-one
Yeah.
to figure out. Yeah, makes sense. So
Yeah.
tell us the difference between somebody putting this money in a savings account, or a CD versus a investment account with compound interest.
Of course. So we actually have a really cool example on the book, and it's about this character, Zoe. She's 19 years old, and she just received an inheritance of $10,000. And she wants to know, where should I put it, at what percentage, how many doubles do I need for that money to reach $1 million by the time I'm 67?
Okay.
So let's say right now you were saying, okay, what's the comparison of like maybe keeping it at a savings account, which would be, if you're lucky, at a 1%, right? Usually it's 0.15%. Okay. So this means that if she were to keep that money there, then her $10,000 would turn into $16,000 by the time she's 67. So she didn't even get one double. But now what happens if she puts her money at a 6%? We can see that she gets 4 doubles. And this means that by the time she's 67, she'd actually have $160,000. What a difference, right?
Yeah.
Already.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what if she finds somewhere to put it at 12%? This is where she gets 8 doubles, and the difference, it's insane. She would have more than $2 million for her retirement.
That same $10,000.
That same $10,000, but just in a
Not adding anything
Not
else.
putting anything on
Just the
that
10,000.
one-time $10,000 investment at 19 years old.
Exactly. Isn't that mind blowing?
I was gonna go like this. Why didn't we do this?
You went for it too.
I know I would never leave anybody hanging, but I was like, dang, why didn't we do that? But anyways, this is why we're here, is to learn, because there's so much information that is not given to us that this is what we wanted. This is what you guys are
we
doing.
should have learned
Yeah,
in school.
this is what we should
and
have
this is
learned.
what we're teaching. Yes.
Oh, yeah. So as me as like a 23-year-old, how much should I be investing and where to not worry about retirement?
So we have a table that hopefully is a guidance. Like, let's say that your goal is to have $1 million in retirement. And we are talking about retirement being retired at age 67, because that's usually the retirement age right now, the full retirement age for Social Security.
Okay.
All right. So if you are, like we have in our example, if you are 25, you have to save $178 in an account that is going to give you a 9%. So if you get a rate of return of a 9%, 178. But the longer we wait to start saving for that retirement or for any other goal, the more that we have to save. You see it, you're going to see it on the table. Like if you wait until you are age 45, is a little bit about $1,200 a month. So that's why many people, they cannot retire and they don't want to talk about these topics. Why? Because it start like making it more difficult to reach your retirement goal.
Well, we're going to have another podcast segment all about this thing that I'm just going to touch on really quickly is, if you look at the graph and you see that, the older you are, it goes from investing a couple $100s to maybe, me in my 40s, it would be like $1,200 a month or something like that. So I'll just touch on it lightly. A lot of times, being a part of WealthWave gives you that ability to earn a little bit of extra money part-time on the side. That way you can either use that money to get out of debt or start investing for retirement so that the years of you being a part of the workforce, you can slowly start trickling them down and still be able to have a good retirement for your family.
Yep, that's what I love about the company. Like, it does disturb, but we all like, we actually have a solution for you. You know, we
Yeah.
don't just like leave you hanging and all freaked out.
Well, I mean, and if I'm being perfectly honest, that's what pulled me into the company. Like I'm 43 years old. I'm no spring chicken, but I always thought that I knew so much about investing, about money, about stuff like that. But I can't teach what I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was like, let me go straight to the professionals. Let me go straight to somebody that's done this for 15 years, for 4 years, that has all that experience, and get it straight from the experts. That way, you know, and not only like, do I have something to share with other people, but I'm learning so much about the process.
Right.
And so I guess that brings me to my next question. Like me, now that I'm gonna be a grandma of 3, I'm gonna have 3 grandbabies. Like, so what are the strategies? What do I need to do to leave them not so much, you know, like for me, like birthday parties, my kids, I would throw the biggest birthday parties, and I don't even know that anybody's had a birthday party with less than $500. Knowing what I know now, I would have taken that $500, and instead of taking them to Target, to Walmart to buy more crap after they just got a bunch of gifts, sorry, thank you, everybody came to parties, gifts, to buy more of that, like I would have invested. I would have, you know, put that money into accounts for them. So tell us, what's the best strategy to be able to use that money and put it away to leave our kids something that's of real value?
Totally. So we actually have this concept called the $1 Million Baby. And it's a way where you can leave a legacy for your kids without having to be wealthy. So it's kind of like putting a little bit away, but using the advantage that your time that your kid has, which is time, you know. So we're gonna give you some examples on how you can set this strategy up. It's a strategy, it's not a product, it's not, but this can be set up in many different ways. We're gonna show you 2. So for example, we have Dana. She had her daughter, and she's gonna put $13,000 away for her daughter and leave it at an account that has compound interest at a 6.5%. We're going conservative, okay? And she's gonna leave the money there and leave it until her daughter is 67. So this means that when her daughter's gonna retire, she's gonna have $1 million. That's why we call it the $1 Million Baby.
Okay.
And just from that one-time $13,000 investment.
And you just leave it there. You don't put anything
But maybe
else
you're
in.
gonna say 10,000, 13,000. I don't have
It's
them.
too much.
So there are different ways to do it.
Totally. And before we get into that, I just want to show like the difference it makes to wait. Sometimes we're like, oh, I'll wait until they're 18. Okay, so what would happen then? That means that same thing, $13,000 by the time her daughter is 18, her money would grow to $300,000. It's still a lot. It's still a good gift to give. Better than nothing, you know, for sure.
Well, and you had 18 years to save it.
And you had 18 years that you just, you know, but sometimes it's not possible.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have that amount. So now let's look at Hector's case. He had a son. When his son was born, he put $2,500 into that account. And then he said, okay, for 4 years, I'm going to save $250 a month. I'm going to put that into that account. And then I'm going to leave it alone. Same thing would happen by the time his son is 67, he would have $1 million for his retirement.
And that's putting $2,500 and $250 a month for 4 years. Just 4 years. So by the time the kid's 5, you can let them spend their birthday money on whatever the heck they want. But that is a way to leave your baby with $1 million by the time they're ready to retire.
Think about this one, like when you purchase a house, you give a down payment, and then you make your payments for 4, 5, 6 years, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So with this one, instead of doing it for 6 years, if you do it for 4 years, something that is reasonable, $250, you can make an impact on the life of a kid.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
and
insane.
it's leaving them something that, I mean, me personally, I'm the mom that I wouldn't even say anything. I would just probably be ashes in the ocean when my kid turns 67, and they'll be like, my mom left me this. Oh my God, she's so cool. But I mean, just to know that that's something that you could do for your children that wouldn't put a burden on you that it's manageable, I guess, not so much a burden, but it's manageable, and you could leave that for your kids. I feel like that's everything.
Exactly. And same thing would happen if he was to wait till his son is 18. Then same thing, he would have $300,000 for his retirement, right? So it's just that importance of like starting now, even if they're already grown up, you know, but like just setting something up, like it's better than nothing. Like being able to.
And
build
these
a
are just
legacy.
examples of numbers, because again, it goes back to everybody getting a one-on-one consultation to find out what your budget is, what it allows, and what you can do. But there's so many strategies that will give you the same outcome just based off what your actual position is.
Exactly, which
You
is
just
very
need time.
yeah, but which is very important. And I think every time that I see a strategy, because I have my 3 kids, I can tell you by being with this company and learning this concept, I have been able to apply it to my kids. So sometimes I go sit down with clients and I know that my kid has more money than the individual that is in front of me in this savings account. And I'm not saving a lot of money. I mean, it's just a fraction.
Well, it's just
But I know the impact that I get. I already make a change in my legacy.
yes.
I'm already teaching this concept to my kids because I want to change my family tree.
Yes. Well, you want to change, like, from going, I feel like so many of us were raised through no fault of our parents. Like, they did the best that they could, and with what they knew, and what they had, you know what I mean? But we culturally, so many of us are wired into the survivor, not survival mode. There's another word and I can't think of it. It starts with a D.
Well, that's gonna be hard to think. But let me tell you what I think about it. Have you seen the movie Encanto?
Yes.
Okay, that nobody wants to talk about Bruno. So our Bruno is the money.
Financial
Nobody wants to talk
about.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Well, I mean, as kids, we were taught you don't ask about money. You don't ask about money. Money is your money. I mean, I know I would even tell my kids, how much does that? They'd ask me, how much does that cost? How much does that cost? And my response to them would be like, are you going to pay for it? No, then don't worry about it. You know what I mean? And it was just such different dialogues and conversations that are, you know, instilled in us around money. And, you know, from not even being able to, you know, from being able to provide to it being able to provide, being looking at as a burden. Oh my God, I have to provide for my family, where it's like another conversation on another podcast where we had, where it's like, if you're doing what you love, like if you're using the gift that God gave you to do what you love, like you're going to be able to provide. It's just a matter of, you know, knowing what to do, having the systems, having the education, having the tools of knowing what to do with it. Because I mean, from myself, like I could tell you, when I out of high school, got out the gate, and I charged up all these credit cards and I did all this stuff and I had no idea what I was doing. And then I got out of it and I did it all again as a 25-year-old. Like I bought my home. You know, once you buy your house, they send you every credit card under the moon. And you're approved for them already because you have this big asset that they can come after. So then you live beyond your means, max everything out. And then it's just, you know, it can be an endless cycle until you learn literally how money works.
And we see, I mean, we see it, and probably I can tell you, I have gone through the same process. That's why I feel that I'm very blessed with the company, because I've been able to learn. I've been able to apply it and help myself first, and help my family, help my friends. And it's time to help our community.
Yeah.
To go and get to more people.
It has a ripple effect.
Yes.
It's so important. Honestly, it's one of the newest I guess highlights of the company that have like been like it really got into my brain. It's been that financial literacy is a human right.
Yes.
You know, and everyone should know this information. Exactly.
A lot of them.
Not at school, and most of the time not in our houses. No.
Yes.
So that's what we're here for.
Awesome.
That's why we love what we do.
Well, thank you so much for being here, ladies.
Thank you so much.
No, I appreciate.
I loved you guys being here. If you want to learn more, be sure to click the link below. You'll get access to all the ebooks, and then you can also click on the Calendly if you would like to set up a time to have your own personal one-on-one financial evaluation to figure out. You know, for my clients, it's one, I help you buy a home. So this is going to be a free service that I offer to all my clients, where we do a one-on-one financial evaluation to help you protect your assets, to help you make sure that, this asset that you bought for your kids doesn't become a burden when, should God forbid something happen to you, you're put in a position that you need to protect what's already yours. So we'll give you all the tools and resources needed. So thanks for stopping by this week. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, ladies. Thank you.